Ego is not what you think. Carl Jung and Eckhart Tolle. Who are you? Really? Are you your name, your job, your story? Carl Jung, the great depth psychologist, and Eckhart Tolle, the modern spiritual teacher, both devoted their lives to answering this question, and both came to the same conclusion. What you call yourself is not who you truly are. Most of us believe the ego is about arrogance, pride, or selfishness, but the truth is much stranger and far more important. Today, we'll explore what the ego really is, why it controls us, and how to step beyond it, toward a life of presence, meaning, and inner freedom. This journey is not a lecture. It's an experience. So, find a comfortable place, take a deep breath, and let's begin. 1. The ego misunderstood. When people hear the word ego, they think of someone boastful, arrogant, or self-obsessed. But Jung and Tolle meant something much deeper. For Jung, the ego was the center of consciousness, the organizing hub of our waking life, the part that says I. Without it, we couldn't function. It helps us navigate society, make choices, and maintain a sense of continuity. But Jung also warned, the ego is only a tiny fragment of the psyche. Beyond it lies the unconscious, the shadow, the archetypes, the vast sea of forces shaping who we are. If the ego believes it is the whole story, we become cut off from our deeper self. Tolle echoes this, but in a different language. He says, the ego is the mind-made identity. It is the voice in your head that never stops talking. It thrives on stories about the past and fantasies about the future. It is your false self. So here's the paradox. We need the ego, but we mistake it for our essence, like mistaking the costume for the actor wearing it. 2. The cost of living in ego. Let's see how ego plays out in daily life. You wake up. Immediately thoughts rush in. I need coffee. I'm late. What will they think of me today? That's ego, pulling you out of the present. At work, a colleague gets praised. A voice inside says, why not me? I deserve that. That's ego, comparing, competing. On social media, someone looks happier, richer, fitter. Suddenly you feel inadequate. Again, ego, feeding on comparison. Jung called this inflation of the ego. When the ego forgets it is only part of the whole psyche and tries to take over. Tolle calls it identification with thought. Different words, but both point to the same suffering. Alienation from our true nature. 3. Jung, the shadow and the self. To understand Jung's wisdom, we must explore two key ideas, the shadow and the self. The shadow is everything we deny or repress in ourselves, our fears, our jealousies, our aggression, our vulnerability. The ego wants to look good, so it pushes the shadow down. But the more we repress, the stronger it grows. Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The ego tells us, I am only light. But the self knows, we are both light and shadow. Integration, not denial, is the path to wholeness. For Jung, the self is the deeper center of the psyche, the totality that includes ego, shadow, and more. When the ego surrenders its throne, the self emerges, bringing meaning, balance, and authenticity. 4. Tolle, the power of presence. Eckhart Tolle takes a different door into the same house. He says, the ego cannot exist in the present moment. It only lives in time, past and future. Think about it. The voice in your head constantly replays old stories. What they did to me, what I regret, who I blame. Or it projects into the future. What if I fail? What if I succeed? What if they don't like me? But notice, when you are fully present, even for a second, the voice stops. The chatter falls silent. There is only your breath, the sounds around you, the sensation of being alive. Tolle says, you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. This is the great discovery. Ego is not destroyed by fighting it, but by seeing it. The moment you observe the voice instead of identifying with it, you realize, I am not the voice. I am the awareness of the voice. 5. Practices to transcend your ego. Both Jung and Tolle offer practices to loosen the grip of ego. Jungian practice, shadow work. Keep a journal. Write down what annoys you in others. Ask, what does this reveal about my own shadow? Over time, you integrate what was denied, becoming more whole. Tolle's practice, presence. Throughout your day, pause and ask, am I still breathing? Feel the sensations in your body. Anchor yourself in the now, in the present moment. Both emphasize honesty. Jung says, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Tolle says, realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Once again, different words, one truth. Ego dissolves when we face ourselves with presence and acceptance. 6. Stories of awakening. Let's make this concrete. Carl Jung himself faced a deep inner crisis after breaking from Freud. His ego collapsed. Out of the chaos, he began what he called his confrontation with the unconscious, which birthed his most powerful insights. Eckhart Tolle, at age 29, fell into despair. He thought, I can't live with myself anymore. Then he suddenly asked, who is this I that I cannot live with? In that moment he realized the ego was not his true self. He awoke into stillness. Both men faced ego death. Both discovered the same treasure on the other side. Presence, wholeness, the self. 8. A guided moment. Let's practice together. Close your eyes. Feel the weight of your body. Notice the breath. Cool air in, warm air out. Now listen to the sounds around you. Not labeling them, just hearing. Now notice the thoughts that appear. See them like clouds drifting across the sky. Ask yourself, if I can watch my thoughts, who is the watcher? Rest in that question. This is the space beyond ego. This is you. So, let's recap. The ego is not what you think. It is not your enemy nor your essence. It is a tool, useful but limited. Carl Jung pointed to the self, the wholeness beyond the mask. Eckhart Tolle pointed to presence, the awareness beyond thought. Different languages, same truth. You are infinitely more than the little voice in your head. So, the next time ego whispers, I am not enough, pause, breathe. Remember, you are the awareness behind it all. If this journey moved you, share it with someone who needs it. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom from the great teachers of past and present. You can also check my Decode Your Mind playlist. Thank you for watching. See you next time, on my way.